Guten Tag alle, heute werden wir ein bisschen mehr über Relativsätze sprechen und die Nutzung von Relative Pronomen auf Deutsch. So today we're going to talk about relative clauses and the use of relative pronouns in German. So a relative pronoun must agree in gender and number with the noun or pronoun to which it refers, which is often in English referred to as the antecedent. The case of the relative pronoun is going to be determined by its use within the relative clause. So let's look at an example. Das ist der Hund, den ich gesehen habe. So der Hund here is, we are establishing normally in the first sentence, and remember with a relative pronoun you're combining two sentences or two clauses. In the first clause we're establishing the antecedent to which our relative pronoun is going to refer back to. In this case it's der Hund, which is nominative because it comes after the form of the verb sein ist, which in English we refer to often as the predicate nominative. A relative pronoun is always going to be preceded by a comma in written form, and then you're going to have the relative pronoun itself, which is going to agree in number and in gender with the original noun, in this case der Hund, but it's also going to be changed to reflect the role of the noun in the second sentence which you are combining. So our original second sentence would have been Ich habe den Hund gesehen. So in that sentence, Hund takes on the role of the direct object, therefore making an accusative. And remember, in the accusative, der changes to den, die and das stay the same. So in this case, der Hund changed to den, which we are referring back to the dog in the first clause. The habe, which is the first conjugated verb after the subject in the original sentence, Ich habe den Hund gesehen, the habe gets pushed to the end, much like it did when we use subordinating conjunctions such as das or weil. Okay, so we're going to look at some examples, and you're going to see how this plays out. Das ist der Mann, the first sentence doesn't change, we put a comma, and now we've got to determine what role the man is playing in the second sentence, and it's Ich habe den Mann gesehen, so Mann in that second sentence is the direct object, therefore accusative. Remember, in the accusative, der words change to den, so that's why it's den. It's also even reflected in the second sentence, so den ich gesehen habe. Another example, wo ist die Frau, die ich mag? Where's the lady that I like? In this case, we are referring back to the lady in the second sentence. The lady is the direct object, but it is a feminine, so it's a die word, so it doesn't change. Remember, accusative, der changes to den, die and das do what? Stay the same, so that's why it's die ich mag. Hast du den Hund gesehen? Hast du den Hund gesehen, der mich gebissen hat? And the reason why it's der here is because the Hund in the second sentence is fulfilling the role of the subject, so therefore it stays the same. Das ist das Auto, du hast das Auto gekauft, so stuck together with a relative pronoun. Das ist das Auto, das du gekauft hast. And this might sound a lot like you use the subordinating conjunction das with two s's, but it's basically the same. It's really interchangeable. You can use das or you can use a relative pronoun when you're combining things. Ist das die Frau, der du deine Hausaufgabe gegeben hast? In this case, in the second sentence, the lady or die Frau is fulfilling the role of the indirect object, and that makes it dative case. And for more information on cases, go back and review our video over it. But die Frau changes to der Frau when it's an indirect object or dative case. So that's why der is here used to represent the lady. Das ist der Mann, und du hast mit dem Mann gesprochen. Das ist der Mann, mit dem du gesprochen hast. Now in this case you have a preposition mit, and with mit and für and certain prepositions, you will keep them in front of the relative pronoun. So this is one of those cases, and that's probably a subject for another video. Das ist der Mann, mit dem du gesprochen hast. Das ist die Frau, und du hast der Frau eine Blume gekauft. Das ist die Frau, der du eine Blume gekauft hast. Again, the lady here is representing the indirect object, so dative. Die changes to der. So, das war's. Vielen Dank für das Zuschauen.